January 1st, 1959, Fidel Castro and his band of bearded revolutionaries overthrew the government of Fulgencio Batista. Castro had led an abortive revolt against Batista in 1953 and was imprisoned and then exiled. He secretly returned to Cuba in 1956 with 81 followers. Against overwhelming odds, Castro and his guerrillas toppled the cruel and corrupt Batista regime. Initially, much of the world welcomed Castro's victory and regarded him as a patriot who would soon establish democratic rule. However, disillusionment spread when Castro made himself premier and began curtailing civil liberties and executing thousands of political enemies.
In front of the presidential palace in Havana, nearly 1 million people, which is just about the whole population of this capital city, gathered at the bidding of their new leader, Fidel Castro. The summary courts-martial and executions of Batista followers have brought criticisms from abroad, especially America. Castro wanted to know how his countrymen felt on the subject, and the hysterical reception shows that Cubans would support just about anything he did.
4,500 people had been arrested, most believed to be former soldiers of Batista's regime. The public trials were held at Havana Sports Arena. Castro's government allowed freedom of the press, so the reporters were able to provide dramatic first-hand accounts.
Rarely have newsreel cameras recorded such dramatic scenes in so explosive a setting. Major Sosa Blanco, 51, was accused of murder, torture, robbery. Reports written by correspondents rivaled fiction. One wrote, "I am in the Roman Colosseum." Major Blanco protested that he was not a murderer but a soldier carrying out wartime orders. Among numerous witnesses against Blanco was a 12-year-old boy, Angelio Estrada. Above the shrieks of the gallery, the loudspeakers carried the testimony. Even before it was fully heard, the crowd shouted, "Kill him." This was justice in Cuba, revolution style. Apparently, Blanco remained calm as the youngster pointed a finger at him and cried, "He killed my father."
The prisoner was found guilty and sentenced to death. Because of foreign outcry, the public trials stopped, but they continued in private. The relationship between Cuba and the U.S. would grow even worse as Castro embraced communism and the Soviet Union. Despite a crushing U.S. trade embargo, the collapse of the Soviet Union, and an economy that is in shambles, Fidel Castro has never lost the iron grip he has held on Cuba since that first hopeful day of January 1959.